details to start looking in great detail at the proposed use of CAD cells for the disposal of contaminated materials here in New Bedford Harbor. I wanted to take time for introductions at the beginning because there are a lot of new faces here in the room. So I do want to, if everybody could take a minute to say who you are, what your connection to this project is, so we can have an open discussion before we get started. You all picked up agendas and signed in at the front, I hope. If you didn't,
yeah, it seems like there's not quite enough names, so just make sure if you're, just so we can keep, in touch.
Yeah, there's a sign-in sheet here. Maybe we could pass it around.
To make sure everyone's, informed of future meetings and anything else that's going out. That'd be really helpful.
Yeah. So good. So again, Mark Rasmussen with the Buzzards Bay Coalition. We've been involved in reviewing the cleanup plans for New Bedford Harbor for more than a decade now. Right now, we are the recipient of a technical assistance grant from EPA, which we used to hire Dr. Frank Boland, who you'll hear from, to provide a technical review of EPA's use of CAD cells. So that is the reason for this series of meetings, and this is the beginning of that technical review process. So that's who I am.
My name is Elaine Stanley, and I'm a remedial project manager with EPA for the New Bedford Harbor System site. And I have here Dave Litterer. He's an RPM, seasoned RPM, has been around for a very long time, and before Sarah. And he's taken over for me, and he's in good hands.
You take over the CAD cell.
The CAD cell.
I'm Judy Peterson from MIT Sea Grant. I have been involved with the cleanup of Boston Harbor for probably close to 25 years when I worked at CZM for about 8.5 years, and was very involved at that time, and well, glad to see things are moving forward again. I also have been involved with the cleanup of sediments, contaminated sediments from Boston Harbor, where we use CAD cells to get rid of our contaminated sediments.
I'm Rachel Jakuba, and I'm the Vice President for Advocacy here at the Buzzards Bay Coalition.
I'm Kelsey O'Neill, the Community Involvement Coordinator with the EPA on the site.
Weldon Bosworth, I'm with URS, and I've been a consultant for ABX since '85, so I've been around.
Chuck Dade, I've been a resident of the area. I usually babysat right across from the Christian River, right across from Airbox. I was at SMU, and they were protesting PCBs back in the '70s. And I'm here basically to make sure that we keep removing PCBs from the harbor.
I'm Edwin Rivera, president of Hands Across the River Coalition. I've been doing this for 28 years now, and I oppose any storage of PCBs in the Acushnet River.
My name is Karen Delandry, environmental activist, also a member of Hands Across the River Coalition. Totally against disposing PCBs 50 to 200 parts per million in a CAD cell in our harbor. This particular report here, Jacobs Engineering, talks about a study that was done on emissions, or I should say volatilization of the contaminants during the time of dredging, bring the material up over the shoreline, also putting it on an open top barge, and then just taking it over to the CAD cell to drop, all the while this material, PCBs, in addition to heavy metals and other contaminants, volatilizing. This morning I received a copy of a letter from Wilma Subra, who is an environmental scientist. And she was part of the industry. She's been to this site, and she says this particular report is unacceptable because it doesn't take into consideration already the PCB exposure that this population in this area has had. In addition, it doesn't address any other contamination other than specifically the PCBs. Nothing here about dioxins, nothing here about any type of heavy metals.
I'm Paul Crafty, Mass DEP.
I'm Frank Boland. I'm a professor emeritus of marine sciences at the University of Connecticut, and I specialize in sediment transport, fine-grained sediment transport, which brings us involved with, over the years, a fair amount of contaminant transport. Done work in New Bedford Harbor too many years ago to remember. And I've been asked to review the material that bear on the issue of CAD cells and their use in New Bedford Harbor. And that's what I think we're going to be talking about this afternoon. What we're looking at, I believe, is the establishment of a technical working group to deal with just such issues as been brought up, so as to really explore the nuts and bolts, if you will, of the CAD cell concept and its application.
Carrie Driscoll, Advocacy Specialist here with the Coalition.
Ed Washburn, I'm the Director of Operations with the Port of New Bedford Harbor Development Commission, and we sit on the State Enhanced Remedy Working Group.
Joe Coyne with the Mass, the EP Project Manager on the New Bedford Harbor site.
David Peterson with the EPA. I'm an attorney who works on the site.
Taylor Cormier, WBSM News.
Sean Myers, Apex.
Susan Nilsson, CLE Engineering.
Paul Eccleston, Mass Fabricating and Welding. I also own fishing boats and a couple other construction companies that are direct abutters to the Acushnet River on the waterfront here behind the end start plate facility, and I support the CAD cells.
Jonah McIntowitz, AGM Marine Contractors.
Jeff Lindbergh Jr., Lindbergh Marine. Bill Roth, Planning Economic Development Director, Town of Fairhaven. I am the Town of Fairhaven's representative on the SER, the State Enhanced Remedy Committee.
Jay Borkman with Apex Engineering Company.
Tom Shields, Marine Fisheries, here in New Bedford.
Hi, Karis Anderson. I'm a reporter with the Standard Times.
Jason Powell, South Shore Dry Dock Marine. I run a yacht brokerage business here in town, and I'm also the chair of the Westport Fish Commission.
Greg Harper with Apex. Ted Pickler with Apex.
Carolyn McGonigal with New Bedford Community Rowing.
Lori Bullard, Director on the board of Community Rowing.
Wisner Murray, New Bedford Community Rowing. Mark Brown, interested resident with a technical background in management of contaminated sediment at Superfund site.
Kevin Mooney, Senior Waterways Engineer, State Division of Waterways.
Dave Medeiros, Northeast Maritime Institute.
Manny DaCosta, Concerned Citizen.
Rob Hancock, Vice President of Education and Public Engagement with the Buzzard Bay Coalition.
Timmy Cox, Fairhaven Shellfish Harbor Master.
Robert Gardner, Bayline Boatyard, Director Butter in the Bedford Harbor, and in support of CAD cells.
Jack Ruda, Energy Management.
John Anderson, Harbor Development.
Paul Anthony, Seafields Marine Service, Butter in the Harbor.
Kevin McLaughlin, Fairhaven Shipyard, also in a butter on the harbor, and a big supporter of CAD cells.
Cheryl Henlon from the City of New Bedford's Environmental Stewardship Office.
Yeah.
You sir?
Ryan Joseph from the Bedford Marine Rescue.
A couple other people walk in.
Pine Trip, a multiple vessel owner and taxpayer. Also with Trip Marine Construction.
Great. Miss anybody?
Evan Rose, International Longshoremen's Association.
Okay.
Russ Montel, same thing, ILA.
Okay, great. All right, we're 2 minutes ahead of schedule. So we wanted to start off basically by having EPA present the CAD cell proposal as approved by the agency last year, the status of it, sort of basically let them have the floor. I'd like to hold questions and comments, let EPA get through a presentation of the CAD cells as they stand today before we get into some question and answer feedback about technical issues related to those. Okay, everybody? So I'm going to turn over to Elaine Stanley.